Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. As per the usual, I am Cobble S. Cobble. Greetings and salutations, and welcome back. As you can see, we are at the unboxing table once again, and we have another deck to unbox for you all. This one has an interesting story. I'll let you... it's been nicknamed Roadkill. And as you can see, the cards are severely damaged, and there is a reason for that, which goes through the name of the deck. But this, I believe this is a 4-color deck, all this built and designed from cards that were found on the side of the road. Most of you probably remember during the mid-2000s into the teens, there was a surprisingly outbreak of thievery of trading cards. And it just was something that happened. There were cards out there were worth money, and a lot of people would be either shoplifting or stealing shit. So at the time, I didn't have a vehicle, so I was walking to work at the local gas station. So on my way to work, I would right on the side of the road, there was a couple magic cards. Like, at first I thought it fell out of somebody's backpack or something like that, because there are a lot of kids in the area. And then, like, it was a couple, and then the next day it was a couple booster packs. Then it exploded to an obscure number of cards, and this went over a several-week period. So this deck was built on just all of those cards that were just casted aside. Like, they took the rares out of the deck and just cast the rest of them aside. Which is weird, because there are some other cards in here that they got rid of that are more expensive than the rares. Go figure. But now we're going to unveil, I should say we're going to unbox the Roadkill deck. So, if you're enjoying the content, please give it a like, and or if you're enjoying the playlist of the unboxings, give it a like. And if you're enjoying the content, please subscribe to the channel, because we got plenty more coming up. So without further ado, let's get it going. Let me just take this other deck and get it out of the way. But interesting story about this deck. It was over about a month and a half period that I would spend it on my way to work and just pick up decks of cards. So here we go. First card is going to just be a standard soldier token. It's a blue soldier token. Another soldier token. So you get the general gist of the idea. It's random periods of with creatures and soldiers. So we have 3 islands to start. Next up, we have the Sea Gavin, Seg Gavin, or something angel. It's a 1-drop, 1/1, creature artifact, flying vigilance, 1 planes. Next up, we have the Angel of Vitality, 3-drop, 2/2, 2 colorless, 1 white. Flying, if you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. Angel of Vitality gets +2/+2 as long as you have 25 or more life. Next up, we have the Battalion Foot Soldiers, 3-drop, 2/2, 2 colorless, 1 white. Human Soldier, when Battalion Foot Soldier enters the battlefield, you may search your library for any number of cards named Battalion Foot Soldier, reveal them and put them into your hand, and shuffle your library. As you can tell, there are multiple Battalion Foot Soldiers. Next up, we have Inspired Courage, 4-drop, instant, 2 colorless, 2 white. Instant creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. Next up, we have the Herald of the Sun, 6-drop, 4/4, 4 colorless, 2 white. Flying, pay 3 colorless, 1 white. Put a 1/1 counter on another creature you control with flying. Next up, we have the Woodland Champion, 2-drop, 2/2, 1 colorless, 1 green. Whenever 1 or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, put that many 1/1 counters on the Woodland Champion. So it's a token spore deck, per se. Next up, we have the Squad Captain, 5-drop, 2/2, 4 colorless, 1 white, Vigilance. Squad captain enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it for each other creature you control. Next up, we have another Herald of the Sun. Another Battalion Foot Soldier. Next up, we have an Empyrean Eagle. 3-drop, 2/3, 1 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue. Flying, other creatures you control with flying gets +1/+1. Next up, we have another Inspiring Courage. Another Inspiring Courage. Next up, we have a Tranquil Cove land. Tranquil Cove enters the battlefield tap. When Tranquil Cove enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Add white or blue to your mana pool. We have another Salgivan Angel. We have the Empyrean Angel, or Eagle, that we just talked about. Another Inspiring Courage. Another Squad Captain. Another Battalion. And then we have Raise the Alarm. 2-drop, instant, 1 colorless, 1 white. Creature, create 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. We have another Squad Captain. Usually we only play with a 4 per playset unless otherwise specified. Hence why we have more foot soldiers. Next up we have Captivating Geist. 6-drop, sorcery, 4 colorless, 2 blue. Return up to 3 target creatures to their owner's hands. So you can see, using the bouncing method, you target your own creatures and you just keep producing more soldier tokens to overrun. Next up we have a Disenchant, 2-drop, instant, 1 colorless, 1 white, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Next up we have Negate, 2-drop, instant, 1 colorless, 1 blue, counter target non-creature spell. We have another Disenchant. Next up we have the Aerial Assault, 3-drop, sorcery, 2 colorless, 1 white. Destroy target tap creature, you gain 1 life for each creature you control with flying. Next up we have another Empyrean Eagle. And then we have a Boreal Elemental, 5-drop, 3/4 elemental, 4 colorless, 1 blue, flying. Spells your opponents cast that target Boreal element costs 2 colorless to cast. Our final Eagle. We have another Boreal Elemental. Next up we have Fencing Ace, 2-drop, 1/1, 1 colorless, 1 white, double strike. Next up we have the Soul Mender, 1-drop, Human Cleric, 1/1, 1 white, tap, gain 1 life. Next up we have an Unsummon, 1 blue, instant, return target creature to its owner's hand. Next up we have the Vesper Lark, 3-drop, elemental, 2/1, 2 colorless, 1 white, flying. When Vesper Lark leaves battlefield, return target creature card with power 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Evoke, 1 colorless, 1 white, 1 colorless, 1 blue. You may cast this spell for its evoke cost. If you do, it's sacrificed when it enters the battlefield. So you can quick summon it, essentially. Next up we have the Fairy Seer, 1-drop, 1/1, Fairy Wizard, 1 blue. Flying, when Fairy Seeker enters the battlefield, scry 2. Look at the top 2 cards. Scry is look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put 1 on top and 1 on the bottom, or put any more on top or bottom of your library, which way you prefer. I think that's what it reads. Next up, we have the Phantasmal Form, 3-drop, instant, 2 colorless, 1 blue, instant until end of turn. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Until end of turn, you up to 2 target creatures each have base power and toughness 3/3, gains flying, and becomes blue illusions in addition to their color and types. Draw a card. So make your guys look real bad and scary. Next up we have Wall of 1,000 Cuts. 5-drop, 3/5, 3 colorless, 2 blue, 2 white. Wall, Defender Flying. Pay 1 white. Wall of 1,000 Cuts. Can attack this turn as though it didn't have Defender. Defender essentially states that it can only do defensive stuff. It's just a chop blocker for days. Next up we have Ether Gust. 2-drop, instant, 1 colorless, 1 blue. To choose target spell or permanent that's red or green. If its owner puts it on top or bottom of their library. So, kind of control-y. Next up we have the Scholar of the Ages. 7-drop, 3/3, human wizard. 5 colorless, 2 blue. When Scholar of the Ages enters the battlefield, return up to 2 target instant and or sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Next up we have the Battle Screech. 4-drop, sorcery, 2 colorless, 2 white. Create 2 1/1 bird, white bird creature tokens with flying. Flashback. Tap 3 untapped white creature you control. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. Next up we have the Ronax Veteran. 4-drop, 2/4, 3 colorless, 1 white. Battle Cry. Whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Whenever Rock's Veteran attacks, tap target creature an opponent controls. Next up we have another Boreal Elemental. Next up we have an Inspiring Captain. 4-drop, 3 colorless, 1 white, 3/3, human knight. Inspiring Captain enters the battlefield. Creature you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Next up we have 2 arms. Instant, 1 colorless, 1 white. Untap all creatures you control, draw a card. Next up we have another Scholar of the Ages. Then we have Winged Words. 3-drop sorcery. 2 colorless, 1 blue. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a creature with flying or draw 2 cards. Or no, I'm sorry. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a creature with flying. Draw 2 cards. Next up we have Captain's Call. 4-drop sorcery. 3 colorless, 1 white. Put 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield. We have planes, another planes, another planes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This deck needs to be shuffled. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 22 planes. And then we have another grouping of Irish, which I don't think were part of the deck. But yeah, this actually looks like that was just put in the box. So all of those lands actually don't belong in this deck. So somehow they got shuffled in with the actual deck. So, but for the record, we'll just add 3 and 3 and call it a day with that deck. But yeah, this was literally a deck build from On the Road Being Dead. And we turned it into a deck, and I've played it once or twice, and it did decent. In a 1v1 setting, it's fantastic, but in a multiplayer game, it becomes problematic. But again, it's just cards that were exiled that were found in real life. So this one's a little short, but I thank you all for coming back out to the channel. And until next time, this is Cubble S. Cubble saying have a good night, and we shall see you in the next one.